Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Explicitly Unbiased. I'm Caleb. No Gerardo this week. LCO's back, so we'll go through all of the NFL games this week, and from Sunday, Thursday, Monday, we'll get into our picks for this week, and we'll go over what happened the college football championship weekend. Big 10, Big 12, ACC, SEC, all that fun stuff. So should be a good show. Let's get right into it. I'll hit that intro. Elcio, how are you today?
Doing well. Excited to be back on here talking some more football, sports in general, whatever.
Yeah. We got plenty of it. Let's just start with Thursday night as we usually do, and we go from there. So, yeah, Thursday night football this last week. You had Dallas at Detroit. Everybody kind of thought that Dallas was in for a run. They were going to start building some momentum. The Lions thwarted that very quickly. They win 44-30. Dak Prescott 31-47, 376, one touchdown, two picks. Javonte Williams 17-67 with a touchdown. Goff 25-34, 309 and a touchdown. David Montgomery 6 for 60 and a touchdown. Gibbs 43 yards but 3 touchdowns. Jameson Williams 7 for 96. Amon-Ra 6 for 92. CeeDee Lamb 6 for 121. Ryan Flournoy, if you've ever heard of him, 9 catches, 115 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, just the Lions kind of just getting it back together here.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I expected Dallas's offense, which had been high octane, to do more to leverage the matchup versus Lions defense, but they really did not as far as scoring points.
No, yeah, like I thought that the Cowboys, I think I said it last week, that they had a offense that could keep up with the Lions, and not a lot of people could say that. Unfortunately for the Dallas Cowboys, it didn't quite turn out that way.
No, not at all. And
Just Dak throwing 2 picks, being really pedestrian, despite CeeDee Lamb and that Ryan Flournoy guy going off for over 100 yards. I think CeeDee had. Or was it Flournoy that had 2 touchdowns, or was it CeeDee that had 2 touchdowns?
Flournoy had the 1 touchdown.
It was 1 touchdown. I apologize.
No,
Javonte had another. But yeah, just the Cowboys had 9 points by halftime. The Lions had 20, and the Lions had a big fourth quarter to kind of close that. So yeah, the Cowboys fall 6-1. Their playoff hopes. Last week they seemed to be pretty good. Now it's just like, oof, that's a kick in the balls.
Yeah.
As for the Lions, 8-5, they're still in the thick of it. I think the division's probably lost at this point, unless the Bears and the Packers start to kind of fall apart. But they should still be a strong wildcard team at the very least. Draw one of those favorable low division matchups like the NFC South. Like if you do, I think the Lions can keep up with the Panthers and Carolina should they win that division. So that's that kind of thing. So yeah, I'd probably say not a great showing for the Cowboys. Their playoff hopes now in dire straits, and the Lions. I mean, you're kind of back to feeling okay. Not great, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Atlanta to play the Falcons. The former Vikings QB Bowl, if you didn't know, Sam Darnold versus Kirk Cousins.
Oh, yeah.
And Sam Darnold comes home with a victory. 37-9, the Seahawks win in Atlanta. Darnold 20 of 32, 49, 3 touchdowns. Zach Charbonnet, 46 yards. On the ground, Jackson Smith-Njigba, 7 catches for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp, 2 for 35 and a touchdown. Kirk Cousins, 15 of 30, 162, 2 picks. Bijan Robinson with 86 yards. Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of a throttling by Seattle, one of the best teams in the league at 10-3, and Atlanta 4-9, just trying to make it through the season so they can figure out what the hell they're going to do next.
Yeah, I mean, quick and easy game for Seattle. didn't have to do too much. You know, just kind of bottle that Atlanta offense, be safe with the ball, be efficient. Just a nice, easy win. Didn't have to take risk. It's
Yeah,
always
now the Seahawks are kind of a major player in this division because the Rams kind of slipped up a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and I think the Seahawks got to be right back. Yeah, they're first in the division right now.
yeah,
It's a tough stretch down the end. Well, not really anymore. They host the Colts, they host the Rams, at the Panthers, at the Niners. I mean, there's no reason that those guys can't go 3-1 or
no,
3-1 through down the final weeks here. One of those losses being a division loss, which could mean something, whether it's the Niners or the Rams. But yeah, I mean the Seahawks. I mean offensively, they're able to put up 37 points.
yeah.
Or I guess more like 21 before you count the field goals. I don't know if they had any defensive touchdowns. They did. They did have one defensive touchdown. But yeah, I mean this is just a good team versus a team that's really struggling to find their identity. Their Falcons should be going into this offseason kind of figure out what the hell they're going to do next. And yeah, the Seahawks just keep rolling. So good for them. Good win. Now we got Cincinnati and Buffalo LCO. Did you watch this game?
I caught bits and pieces of it. I had a pretty busy Sunday, but I managed to catch pieces and it looks really competitive.
It was 39-34 Buffalo Bill win. It was a classic Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen kind of matchup. Burrow had two awful picks. Not really that were hit. One, it was just like freaky plays by the linebacker. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But Burrow goes 25-36, 284, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. No rushing game to really be found. Chase Brown did have a touchdown, but it was in the snow. And T. Higgins, 6 for 92 and 2. Mike Gesicki, 6 for 86 and 1. Jamar Chase, 5 for 44. Josh Allen, 22 to 28, 251, 3 touchdowns. Also had a rushing touchdown, make that 4. James Cook, 18 carries for 80 yards. Dawson Knox had a day, 6 catches for 93 yards. Kincaid with a touchdown. Shakir with a touchdown. Jackson Hawes with a touchdown. Yeah, this is just an offensive, air raid of stuff. And the Bills come out on top. They stay within their division. The Bengals fall to 4-9. I mean, that was probably it. If you were going to make the playoffs somehow, some way, you had to win out.
Yeah.
That ices that for them, I think, at this point. Yeah, anything to say between the Bills and the Bengals?
I mean, yeah, when your starting running back is averaging 1.9 yards a carry, that's not very good, not enough for Burrow to work with. And if I'm not mistaken, that's an incomplete day for T. Higgins as he left with a concussion, and the Bills were just able to play more balanced football. Burrow was kind of having to sling the ball because the Bengals just couldn't run it. Always invent when he can balance out the play sheet a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if the Bills are back per se. I think they have a little bit of ways to go. Like a win in New England this week, I think would be huge for them. Like they obviously get themselves back in the division mix. But the Bengals, I mean, God, what could have been if they had Burrow all year?
Yeah.
But all right, we're chugging right along. Titans at Cleveland. I heard there was some drama with this game. The Titans win 31-29. Cam Ward 14-28, 117, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Tony Pollard 25 carries, 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kind of spread out around the ball pretty well. This is a run dominant game for sure. But Shedeur Sanders 23 of 42, 364 and 3 touchdowns. Also had a rushing touchdown. Harold Fannin Jr. 8 catches, 114 yards and a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy 3 for 76 and a touchdown, including a 60-yard bomb. David Njoku 1 catch, 1 yard, 1 touchdown. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
But I heard that they took Shedeur off the field for the final 2-point conversion to tie it. They ran a wildcat and it didn't go through, and people are outraged. But yeah, look at the Titans. They cost themselves the number 1 pick. That now belongs to the Giants, and the Browns get a Brown.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a otherworld game. Just everything in reverse. The Browns' offense, it came alive. I mean, Shadur had close to 400 yards through 3 touchdowns. They couldn't really run it though, but the defense really let them down, letting Tony Pollard have a crazy day on him, and Cam Ward had a pretty solid day as well through the air. But yeah, you're looking at damage on the ground, and the Browns usually have a stout front seven against the run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Titans, I mean, coughing up that number 1 overall pick. I mean, this is a draft where you don't really want that pick, but I mean, what do you have to lose?
Yeah,
Or what do you have to win, rather? The Titans going to bottle that up. Now the Giants are look at the number 1 overall pick, and they're probably feeling pretty good about themselves getting their choice of the board because they have a quarterback. They don't need it. So now
no,
you can kind of attack the other things. You can maybe try to get a trade down if you wanted it. But yeah. So anything to add?
yeah, just a high value asset added to the Giants if they want to leverage that into a trade, or adding a electric young talent at whatever position they may choose, which would not be quarterback, which is good for them.
Yeah, because this is a bad QB class. Anyways, Washington at Minnesota. Sorry, just my phone keeps blowing up. Yeah, I guess 9 is back.
Yeah,
All of the internet is shaking their ass about JJ McCarthy beating up the worst passing defense in football this year. But hey, who am I to yuck somebody's yum? Who am I to spoil somebody's fun? The Vikings win 31-0. Jaden Daniels 9 for 20, 78 yards and a pick. He got hurt again.
yeah,
Marcus Mariota 2 for 4, 30 yards, a pick. Chris Rodriguez Jr. 10 for 52. As for the Vikings, JJ McCarthy 16-23, 163, 3 touchdowns. Aaron Jones 14-76. Jordan Mason 11-52 and a touchdown. Jordan Addison 4 for 62. Justin Jefferson 2 for 11. TJ Hawkinson 2 for 12 and a touchdown. Josh Oliver 2 for 24 and 2 touchdowns. So, what does this game say to me, LCO, about JJ McCarthy? Nothing. Not really. He didn't really explode anybody's stat line by any means, which is kind of what I look for when you're talking about really good quarterbacks and having really good games. You look at your receivers and you're like, oh my God, like this guy had 100 yards, this guy had 90 yards. Like, you know what I mean? Like spraying that ball around and getting big time stuff. This just kind of feels like JJ McCarthy just spread the ball around, played point guard, so to say, game manager, some might say, and made easy completions, got easy yards, got some easy touchdowns. When you watch him, you could kind of see that it felt like they told him, screw the mechanics, just go play. And that's kind of what it looked like. I still don't like it. I don't think that's sustainable by any means.
no,
And they picked a really good defense to do it against because the Commanders. Listen, Dan Quinn, I know, defensive coach. They had some pieces on there, but this was very much a bad Washington defense, a bad Washington team. And yeah, so my needle's not really moved with JJ. I don't know if yours is, but
no. What this says to me is that he can be efficient against a bad passing defense. I mean, he didn't throw all that much, 23 times, but he had a high completion percentage. Got him some yards, some touchdowns. The run game was fairly efficient, but this Commanders team on defense, bad on offense, didn't do much better. Have to question why they brought Jaden Daniels back on a 3-9 team just for him to get injured again. Let him rest for the year. Season's over. It's a wrap.
yeah, I don't know how anybody could look at this game with a straight face and go, "Oh my God, everything's back to everything is status quo. Everything's back. No, we got our guy. I don't think that's proving anything at all. I think he proved that he can play, which we already knew he could kind of play. Like he's got 2 wins under his belt against better teams than this. But yeah, I don't know if they got their franchise guy or anything. You know what I mean?
I get that.
So yeah, as for Washington, season's over. Pack it up. Stop trying. Done. Okay, up next we have the Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. Let's take a look here at what happened down in the Meadowlands. 34-10, your final. The Dolphins win. Tua Tagovailoa, 13-21, 127, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Wright explodes, 24 carries, 107 yards, and a touchdown. A-Train, 7 for 92, and a touchdown. A-Train did get hurt. They did say that he could come back in and play if needed, but they was like, no, rest, you're good. Ollie Gordon, 5 for 17 and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 5 for 50 and a touchdown. As for the Jets, am I reading it? Does that say Brady Cook?
Yeah, that does.
Oh,
Brady Cook.
Brady Cook comes in for the Jets. 14 for 30, 163, 2 picks. Tyrod Taylor, 1 for 4, 6 and a pick. Breece Hall, 14 for 43. Yeah, this was just a slaughtering. The Dolphins are a much better team than the Jets. It's not even close. That's why they're 6-7. Then the Jets are 3-10. But kind of good to see the Dolphins offense find some sort of identity there without a lot of their best pieces. But McNeil's not really moved. I mean, 6-7, and that's going to be first team in, last team out, even if you went out, which they're not. I think they still have dates with the Bills and the Patriots to go. But yeah, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, you gotta love to see a young guy like Brady Cook get his opportunity, come in and absolutely blow it, play terrible. I'm assuming Tyrod Taylor got injured. Nice to see Jalen Wright get a chance, and I mean he averaged 4.5, which is pretty good. Got himself a touchdown. Just a nice career day for him early on in the career with A-Chain leaving early.
Yep.
But yeah,
all you fantasy owners, I'm right there with you. A-Chain should be fine
Yeah.
for your playoff run. So all that in mind, it's just a battle of 2 not so good teams, and the better one comes out on top, which we all kind of want to see. Moving right along, New Orleans at Tampa. What'd I tell you, LC? I mean, the Saints can be frisky.
and first they were.
Yeah, 24-20. Yeah, Tyler Shuck, 13-20, 144 and a pick. But Devin Neal, 19 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown. Tyler Shuck, 7 for 55 and 2 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield, 14-30, 122, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Bucky Irving, 15 for 55. He also had a touchdown through the air. Devon Bailey was the Saints' leading receiver, 3 for 40. Olave, 3 for 30. But yeah, I mean, decent day for Devin Neal. 2 touchdowns on the ground for Shuck.
Yeah.
And the Saints come out on top. The 3-10 team goes ahead, gets a win, and the Bucks. It's a crucial loss in their chase for the division.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that Shuck had some vanilla 50 DNA in him. 2 rushing touchdowns. But yeah, it looks like the Bucks offense just couldn't really get anything going. I don't know if Saints defense had been all that good this year, but they've had some teams where they've been pretty bad, but had a stout defense. Definitely hurts the Buccaneers in the divisional chase. I thought they might be able to try to secure it, but Panthers right on the hills after this loss.
They might even be ahead, to tell you the truth. I have to see. We're looking for standings. Nope, they're still tied 7-6. They haven't played yet, so They play the Falcons here this week,
They do.
and then at at Dolphins versus Panthers. So those two games mean a whole lot for that division.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Saints and the Shuck.
Yep.
Told the Bucks to get the Shuck out of here. All right, Colts at Jaguars, probably the most consequential game of the week. Jacksonville wins 36-19. You read that like, holy crap, what happened to the Colts offense? Well, Daniel Jones got hurt.
Yeah.
5 for 7, 60 yards and a pick. 1 carry, 4 yards on the ground, but he pops his Achilles. Done for the year. Riley Leonard comes in 18 for 29, 145 and a pick. Also has a strained ligament in his knee. That's why they're trying out Phil Rivers this week. Yes, you heard that right. Father of 10, 44-year-old grandfather, Philip Rivers, will be trying out for the Colts this week. Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Riley Leonard with a touchdown on the ground as well. Alec Pierce, 5 for 80. That's your leading receiver. Michael Pittman Jr., 9 for 79. Trevor Lawrence, 17 30, 244, 2 touchdowns. Travis Etienne, 20 carries, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tim Patrick, 5 for 78 and a touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr., 3 for 87. Yeah, I mean, Jaguars take lead of the division. And the Colts, I mean, God, what a deflating loss for them. Where do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the Colts, this fall apart's been terrible because they had the hot start. Danny Dimes looked really good. Offense was good. They go ahead and they go all in for Sauce Gardner to improve the defense. And I think Sauce might have gone down at some point too. And now they're not leading in their division. Don't even think they're second in the division at this point. Maybe they are, but Houston should have a tie break over them. It feels bad. They trade their first this year and next year, I want to say. Just bad tidings.
Bad times for sure. As for the Jags, 36-19.
Yeah.
36-19 win, and they take over the division lead. I mean, yeah, if you're a Jags fan, you gotta be feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Jags fan, you definitely can't complain. You lead the division now, like,
Won 5 of their last 6.
yeah.
And
And
the only loss is to Houston.
your offense looked pretty good this game. The defense did their job against the Colts backup, Riley Leonard, obviously, as I'm thinking Daniel Jones left pretty early in the game. Yeah, can't complain as a Jags fan, but as a Colts fan, it's definitely a bad feeling coming out of this.
And the Jaguars' last 4 games, not particularly hard. They host the Jets. They go to Denver, but at the Colts versus Tennessee. 3-1 right there. You're going to finish 12-5 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars are another team that traded their first this year, but it looks like it won't hurt them too much.
Yeah. Good on them. Trying to move right along here. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. Elcio, I hope you can tell me a whole lot about this game. Where's my box score? There it is. 27-22. The Steelers win. Aaron Rodgers, 23 of 34, 284 yards and a touchdown. No run game to speak of. But DK Metcalf, 148 yards. Jalen Warren, 49 yards and a touchdown through the air. Lamar Jackson, 19 of 35, 219, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Derrick Henry, 25 of 94. Keaton Mitchell, 6 for 76. Zay Flowers, 8 for 124. Isaiah Likely, 4 for 25 and a touchdown. What do you want to tell me about this game, LC? I mean, the Steelers, they get their lick back as far as leading the division.
Yeah, I mean, just being a fan of this division and particularly the Steelers, you kind of learn to read the tea leaves, per se. These games can get weird on paper. Would I tell you that the Ravens are better than the Steelers? Yes. But the Steelers win. You had a controversial Isaiah Likely touchdown reversal. The refs making the case, I believe, that he did not make a football move before dropping the ball in the end zone, which would have been a game-winning touchdown for him. Lamar, I think, looks like he managed his or limited his mistakes. He can turn the ball over against us. Bottled up Henry well enough. Falele on the Ravens. They're, I want to say, right guard, one of the worst I've seen. Just terrible. Just a classic AFC North, gritty defensive type game. 27-22 is not high scoring in today's NFL.
You gotta like seeing Aaron Rodgers get aggressive again.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely threw some darts, especially to DK Metcalf, which
Which
that's
you want.
what you want to see. That's kind of why we got DK Metcalf. No run game, so he kind of made up for that by pushing the ball, which I did enjoy seeing.
Yeah. And you feel good taking that division lead back, but you still have a long way to go.
It feels good for the moment. Still have a long way to go. I think we still have a rematch in
Week
Baltimore,
18.
or maybe that game will be in Pittsburgh. But either way, the rematch is with Baltimore. The closing stretch isn't terrible. You got Dolphins, which is winnable. Lions, which
Is winnable.
it's winnable. Yeah, Browns, which is winnable, and we beat them comfortably the first time. And the Ravens, who we just beat, but not without controversy.
Yeah. So cautious optimism, I think, would be the theme in Pittsburgh this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Denver at Vegas. Let's go ahead and get into that. 24-17 your final. Bo Nix, 31-38, 212. No touchdowns, no picks. RJ Harvey, 17 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Bo Nix with a rushing touchdown as well. Cortland Sutton, 6 for 62. Geno Smith, 13 of 21, 116, a touchdown. Gets hurt, leaves the game. Kenny Pickett, 8 for 11, 97, and a touchdown. Genty with just 30 yards. I'm sure you Genty fantasy owners are starting to get pissed. Jack Beck, 6 for 50. Brock Bowers, 4 for 46 and 1. Shaderick Jackson, 1 for 25 and 1. Yeah, it just felt like a trap game, AFC West division matchup, and the Broncos outlasted, kind of like the Patriots. A couple of well, then maybe not. I mean, I guess the Giants were a trap game, but that wasn't a divisional trap game. But you got what I meant. It was a trap game, and the Broncos survive. I know they're checking the box for if a team was legit or not. And the Broncos, I mean, their defense has been scary. Their offense has been efficient, even if sort of not as high octane as you want it to be. But, I mean, the Broncos pick up a big win.
Yeah, I mean, it's a divisional game. I was a bit surprised that it was somewhat competitive 7 point game, but Denver nonetheless beat a team they're supposed to beat uh, by a score, but it was at least by a touchdown, not just by a field goal or anything like that. More comfortable than the Commanders win not too long back. Shout out to Marvin Mims. Love to see a special teams touchdown. Raiders continue to not be able to run block. Gino was looking more secure with the ball before he went out. Shout out to Kenny Two Gloves. I guess he came in and got his chance and was okay.
Yeah. I mean, the Raiders definitely not a season that they were expecting. They were expecting something a little better than this, but yeah, Broncos. They take the number 1 seed. If it comes down to a tie, because the Broncos beat the Raiders, the Patriots would fall back on a common opponent's tiebreaker. But yeah, I mean, good day for the Broncos for sure. Okay, Chicago and Green Bay. Packers pick up a win, 28-21. Caleb Williams, 19-35, 186, 2 touchdowns and a pick. DeAndre Swift, 63 yards. Majai, 57 yards on the ground. The receivers, Luther Burden, 4 for 67. Colson Loveland, 4 for 29 and a touchdown. But Jordan Love, 17-25, 234 and 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 20 carries, 86 yards and a touchdown. Christian Watson, 4 for 89 and 2 touchdowns. Bo Melton, 1 for 45 and a touchdown. Jaden Reed, 4 for 31. Yeah, I mean, now the Bears are the players in the NFC North. I mean, the Packers, and the Bears, they trade the lead again. So, yeah, where do you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, the Bears' run game just wasn't there like it was, I want to say, last week when both guys had comfortably over 100 yards. Caleb Williams was fairly efficient. I don't like the low yardage in the passing game, but they kept it competitive. Think I mean, the defense gave up 234 passing yards. Jacobs had a good day. It was just one of your, I hate to be cliche here, a classic NFC North game. Defense, physical play. Just it was a fun watch and fun to see this divisional race between these two teams.
For sure. NFC North is now the most competitive division in football. I mean, the NFC West is pretty close, but no, you feel good about all three of those teams for sure. But yeah, they seem to take turns as to who's the most impressive, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's just game of hot potato. It feels like.
Yeah, which is what we want. Which is what we love. And I know that we're all happy with seeing Lambeau Field host a playoff game again, or Soldier Field hosting a playoff field game again, or the Ford Field doing it again. Like we all want to kind of see those historic franchises do well. I know the Lions are historic in a bad way. They're starting to fix their reputation, but the Bears, I mean, Super Bowl champions in the past. The Packers, obviously one of the most iconic franchises in all of sports. That's going to be a fun division to watch down the road.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, 32, 35. The Rams and the Cardinals. Rams put Bell to ass, 45-17. Stafford, 22-31, 281, 3 touchdowns. Blake Corum, 12 for 128 and 2. Kyren Williams, 13 for 84 and 1. Jacoby Brissett, 25 of 44, 271, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Was also the leading rusher, which is bad news because Jacoby Brissett's not a mobile quarterback by any means. Puka Nacua, 7 for 167 and 2. Colby Parkinson, 3 for 32 and 1. Michael Wilson, 11 for 142 and 2. Trey McBride, 5 for 58. Rams continue to prove why I think they're top down the best roster in football. They might not always play like it, but they're, I think, the team to beat in the NFL. And the Cardinals, I mean, they continue to struggle. Who knows what their identity is going to be going down the road. But, yeah, anything you want to say about the Rams or the Cardinals?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the records, you'd think this is an expected result, but it's a divisional game, so there's thought that, the Cardinals could keep it competitive because they've had some scrappy losses this year. Both Rams running backs averaging over 6 yards a carry, 6.5 for Kyren Williams, 10.7 for Corum. Puka had a day. Parkinson got himself a touchdown. Surprised that Devontae Adams didn't get spam targets on the 1 yard line, get himself a touchdown or two out of that. And for the Cardinals, yeah, just no run game. Michael Wilson had himself a day. Yeah, you look at this, the Rams demolished the team they should. Looked really good doing it. Had some flair to it. It's just hard to look at this team and diagnose something that makes you want to say, yeah, there's at least one or two teams better than this one that I'd feel better about in a head-to-head matchup.
No, I'm right there with you. So that'll do it for that game. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Sunday Night Football. I know you're gonna have a lot of words about this one also. Houston beat Kansas City 20-10 in Arrowhead. CJ Stroud 15 31, 203, and a touchdown. Willie Marks 26 for 68. Dare Ogunbowale 5 yards and a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes 14 33, 160, and 3 picks. Boy, Nico Collins 4 for 121. But yeah, the Colts, not the Colts, the Chiefs fall to 6-7. Texans up to 8-5. I mean, good win for the Texans. Obviously, they're going to be a force in the playoffs. They're going to be the wild card team nobody wants to play, especially my New England Patriots. But Kansas City 6-7. I know you want to talk about it, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, that playoff window, week by week, it's seeming to close. I think they've dropped 2 in a row now, with the offense looking anemic. Though, to be fair, they faced a very stout Texans defense this week. Defense kind of lived up to it, but the Texans were able to outscore a very anemic, turnover-prone Chiefs offense. Only touchdown scorer is Kareem Hunt, who averaged 2.5 yards a carry. Not good. That's not good enough at all. Mahomes can't keep being your leading rusher. Won't do. Uh, no one really stood out the receiving game. Worthy averaged about 18 yards a catch, but only had 3. Rasheed Rice had the most catches. Didn't do
Also
much.
got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. It's just, if you're a Chiefs fan, this surely looks very bad, right? Your team has lost its identity overnight. Made the Super Bowl last year, got thoroughly disassembled by a better at the time Eagles team, who's also kind of lost theirs. But we'll touch on that later. What do you do if you're the Chiefs? How do you improve, get better? How do you fit?
Listen, even the Patriots dynasty had bad years. I mean,
Yeah,
2002 they didn't make the playoffs. 2005, Brady didn't have a lot of weapons, and they kind of were just going through the motions. 05, 06. Then 07, they got Randy Moss. It's kind of where you're at. You need to get Patrick Mahomes that A+ weapon because Travis Kelce is on his last legs.
yeah,
He may be retiring this year. It's just tough day, tough day, tough schedule. Like, I don't want to say it's over because how can you reasonably pick against Mahomes and Reed in any facet? But it's not great. I think odds are they're probably going to miss the playoffs, and they're going to be looking at this offseason like, okay, how do we get back? How do we make the most of this window we have Patrick Mahomes with? And I know it's going to be a long time because Mahomes is one of the greatest to ever do it, but it's they got to figure some things out, and that starts with getting Mahomes an offensive weapon.
yeah.
So there's that. All right, Monday Night Football. Last night, the Eagles took on the Chargers. The Chargers come out victorious in a 22-19 overtime victory in one of the sloppiest games I've ever seen. Jalen Hurts, 21 of 40, 240, 4 interceptions, no touchdowns, a fumble that he lost while recovering a fumble. It's weird. Saquon Barkley, 20 for 122 and 1. Kind of what you want to see out of that Eagles rushing game. A.J. Brown, 6 for 100. Like, on paper, this is an okay day if you take away Jalen Hurts' 4 interceptions. Justin Herbert, 12 of 26, 139, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Also 66 yards on the ground. Amarian Hampton, 6 yards. Kamani Vidal, 1 catch for 60 yards. Keenan Allen, 3 for 22. But this is very much a defensive slog.
Yeah.
There wasn't good defense. It was just bad offense, I think. And listen, Chargers come out with a win. Needed that desperately to get to 9-4. They'll have a chance to win the division if they can win out and then beat Denver week 18. But yeah, it's a long road. At Kansas City, at Dallas versus Houston, at Denver. Tough. Very, very tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you got to say about this one? You want to shit on Jalen Hurts? Do you want to talk about the Chargers? Anything you want on the board?
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles have just kind of been off since like week one this year, really, even though they won. They started out winning. You can tell that the Eagles have a more talented roster as they very handedly lost the turnover battle and still managed to only lose by three in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Hertz was terrible. I don't know what was up with him. Four picks, losing the fumble, which I'll give him some grace for, I suppose, as he had just recovered the fumble himself. Very bad day for him. Saquon's back, though, if you're concerned about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking at Philly, they're not as down bad as KC at the current moment. They have pretty winnable slate of games to close. What do you do if you're Philadelphia to get back to how you were last year when you were far and away the best team in football?
Yeah, just their offense has been super inefficient. They don't run the ball very well. They did tonight or last night. They didn't all year. AJ Brown is clamoring for targets and catches. He gets 6 for 100, and they still can't find a way to win because Jalen Hurts is turning the ball over. It's just, it's not great. And the Eagles now fall to, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
I
That's
want
why
to
you have to
say
leave the tab.
8
8 and
and
5.
5. Yes.
They're not in any risk of losing the division, I don't think,
No.
because the NFC East is particularly weak this year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you look at them in the playoffs and go, they could repeat. I don't quite feel that way. Okay, so there's that. Now let's do our picks for this week.
Yes.
We're getting it all in one, folks, because things happen and we gotta adapt. Last week LCO beat me 9-8, 7-6 against the spread. But it's a new week, so let's just dive right into it. Atlanta at Tampa on Thursday Night Football. Tampa is 4.5-point favorites.
Yeah, so it's almost tempting to not take the Bucks to cover the spread, considering they just lost to the Saints. But Atlanta has nothing to play for. The Bucks do. The Bucks should be pissed off coming off a pretty bad loss. So I'm going to take the Bucks, and I'm going to take them to cover as well.
I'm with you. Cleveland at Chicago. Chicago minus 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns just lost to the Titans, who was a far worse team. Let Tony Pollard have a day, and I'd say the Bears have better run game as well. Give me the Bears. Give me the Bears to cover.
I'm with you. Buffalo in New England. Buffalo's 1.5-point favorites. I imagine that line's going to change.
Yeah, I can't believe that Buffalo's opening as favorites. I'm taking the Patriots to win, and I'll take them to cover whatever alternative line comes out where they're favored.
I'm with you because I think the Patriots are playing good football. I don't think they're just beating up on bad teams.
Yeah.
And they beat Buffalo this year in their house. I'll take New England. I hate to do it because I'm naturally a guy who's like, oh, how's this going to go wrong? But I'll take the Patriots. Jets at Jaguars. Jags are 12-point favorites. I'll take Jags both ways. The Jets suck.
Yeah, I mean, it's just simple math. The Jets are god awful. The Jags are going to cover.
Baltimore at Cincinnati. Baltimore minus 2.5. I'm going to take the Bengals. I think they're playing better football right now.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore played Cincy not too long ago. Burrow's first game back, I want to say, Cincy won that game by a fair margin. The Ravens just lost to the Steelers, though it was in controversial fashion. Lamar's been off. He's continued a streak of under 250 passing yards. But you got to bet on a talent like that to get it figured out. So I'll take the Ravens to cover.
Alrighty. Arizona at Houston. Houston -10.
Mm. Yeah, I'm going to take Houston to win this football game just because their defense is so good. But I'm not going to take them to cover. I don't know if their offense is going to be scoring enough to win by 10 points. Yeah, because Arizona's defense can be stout at times. Yeah, Houston to win, Arizona to cover.
I'm taking Houston both ways. I don't know if Arizona's offense could muster up anything against that Houston defense. Washington at the Giants. Giants -2.5. I'll take the Giants both ways. Pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Commanders, the vibes on that team are just very low at this point.
LVR at Philly. The Raiders at the Eagles. Eagles -11.5. I'll take the Eagles to win. I'll take Vegas to cover.
Yeah, I'm gonna fall in line with that. The Eagles' offense has been flat. I think Vegas can get some points on them, keep it within that 11.5, but Philly should win this game.
Very good. Okay. Chargers at Kansas City. Kansas City -3.5.
Mm. I'm taking the Chargers to win this just outright. I mean,
So you got the Chiefs season ending here.
yeah, I mean, looking at the Chiefs, the offense looks lost. I mean, to be fair, Houston's defense is probably better than LA's, but is the Cowboys' defense? I wouldn't think so. And the Cowboys, well, Chiefs put up 28, but just looking at it, the Chargers' vibes aren't necessarily the best either, but they're coming off a win. They're looking as fair as they can with an injured line. I could see the Chargers coming out and just securing the sweep here.
All right. Indy at Seattle. Seattle -13.5.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely adjusting for the Danny Dimes injury and the fact that there's a non-zero chance Philip Rivers, just fresh off the streets, out of a gathering with his large family, is going to be starting this game. Seattle's going to cover it. The Colts are just, they're falling apart at the seams. It's just sad to see.
Green Bay at Denver. Green Bay -2.5. I don't get that. I'm taking Denver.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take Denver as well. Denver's defense is very good, as is Green Bay's, to be fair, but Bo Nix, the Denver offense, has shown that they can step up in that clutch time, and they might just do that in this game.
Tennessee at San Francisco. San Francisco -12.5.
Yeah, I made the mistake of taking the Cleveland Browns to cover last week, but the mistake was not sleeping on the Titans. It was overrating the Browns. The 49ers will cover.
I'm with you. Carolina at New Orleans. Carolina -2.5. I will take Carolina to win, and I guess to cover as well. That's not a big enough spread to split the baby, but
Yeah, with such a small spread, I'm going to have to take Carolina both ways, but I'm less confident in doing so than I usually would be, considering what happened this past week with the Saints stepping up against another divisional rival in the Buccaneers.
Detroit at the Rams. Rams -5.5. I'll take the Rams to win, but Detroit to cover.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions, I think they have an offense that can keep up with the Rams. Yeah, it's the Rams should win this game, but I think Detroit will manage to cover.
To Minnesota at Dallas. Dallas -6.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take Dallas to cover. I'm going to assume the offense kind of being pedestrian for their standards this past week was a fluke. Uh, they should put up points. I don't know if the J.J. McCarthy led Vikings can keep up, even with that stout Minnesota defense at their side. Dallas is still an electric offense despite this past week's happenings. I think they should cover.
Yeah, I agree. Lastly, give me a score. Miami at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh -3. I'm going to take the Steelers to win 20-18. So that would mean Miami covers for a point total of 38.
So I'm going to also take the Steelers to win. And I'm going to say 21-14, which, Steelers would cover in this case.
Alrighty. So those are your picks this week, friends. Thank you for participating. All right, let's talk about some college football and get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Crazy that we did everything in one, and we're still going to end up with a shorter episode than usual. All right, so this is what happened in the big championship weekend. We'll go over the games, then we can talk about the bracket a little bit, and then we can go home. We won't preview the game like that, but we'll just go over the bracket, some of the decisions that were made. But let's just start with the Big Ten. Indiana beats Ohio State 13-10. Indiana wins the Big Ten. LCO, what's kind of your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I think this sends a clear message for Indiana. I think a lot of people went into this game under the impression that Ohio State was a better team, that Ohio State would maybe not blow them out, but comfortably win this game. Instead, Indiana comes out, gets a close win, keeps the game low scoring. Good job by Indiana. They've earned whatever seeding they've received in this bracket.
In the SEC, Georgia beats Alabama 28-7. Are you a little surprised that Bama didn't put in their backup quarterback just to kind of see if they could save it?
Yeah, I mean, Bama beat Georgia earlier this season. They had negative free rushing yards, I think less than 100 total. Maybe make a switch at that quarterback position and see what you can do. I know I would. Instead, we get a pretty comfortable Georgia win. Wasn't very pretty a football game for Alabama. Yeah.
Texas Tech beats BYU in Jerry World 34-7. They'll represent the Big 12.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as expected, right? Texas Tech is the standard of the conference this year. I mean, maybe BYU could have made it more competitive, but Texas Tech looks to be a really good football team. Did their jobs, got the big win, taking some momentum into the playoff.
And lastly, the ACC championship. Duke beats Virginia 27-20.
Yeah, I said I couldn't pick Duke to win that game. Maybe I should have, because they did. UVA's quarterback had a disaster class of a game. Duke came out and they just outplayed them. It wasn't as close as the score would seem. That game shouldn't have gone to overtime even, but Duke kind of blew it at the end just for UVA to outdo them and blow it a bit worse.
All right, so those are the championships. Let's talk about this bracket. Let's go from the top to the bottom. Number one team, Indiana. They'll be at the Rose Bowl in a couple weeks. Number 2, Ohio State. They'll be at the Cotton Bowl. Number 3, Georgia at the All-State Sugar Bowl. And number 4, Texas Tech at the Orange Bowl. Now, what team will play Texas Tech? The winner of James Madison in Oregon. So a lot of things went into this decision to leave guys like Notre Dame out.
Yeah.
What's kind of your thought process?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, obviously JMU is going to be expected to be blown out by Oregon. You might be looking at this, wondering why is this team in and not Notre Dame? The answer is because the ACC is a terrible conference. Our conference champion is 7-5, not ranked. JMU's ranked higher, and so is Tulane. So 5 highest ranked champions. They never said they had to be. Oh, they never said 4 of them had to be Power 4. Yeah, the ACC kind of screwed the bracket for some of these Notre Dame fans.
Yeah, Duke didn't even make it. It's funny.
No.
Like I said, folks, this is my first year really like following college football week to week, on a large scale. So like I look like, oh, Duke didn't even make it, but Miami did, and they didn't even play the champion. Like it's just It's funny. Number 8 Oklahoma, and number 9 Bama. Don't really need a pick, but do you like this matchup?
Yeah, I mean it's a fun matchup. It's one we've seen, which, you know, if you remember, Oklahoma won that matchup. SEC matchup. Should be a fun game. Hopefully, Bama does more than they did in the SEC championship. And whoever wins that, it should be a fun game against Indiana. Yeah, I mean, I like the matchup. I do.
Yep. Let me pull up the tab again. Tulane and Ole Miss. Damn, you get 2 of these not Power 4 conference champions in the playoffs. These ones are going to Ole Miss and the remains of Lane Kiffin. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, it could be fun. Obviously, your Power 4 school, especially an ACC school, you kind of have to give big advantage to, even after losing their coach. Should be a fun matchup next. You have Georgia. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to make much of these group of 5 versus Power 4 matchups, especially
Would
when
you
the
have
Power
rather
4
seen
conferences.
Notre Dame than these 2?
Yes, I would. But the committee, they set their rules. They have to abide by them. I get that, but I think it it would have been more intriguing if one of these teams were cut out for Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of other schools that were left out of the bracket. Like, I wouldn't put Duke in there for winning the ACC. Like, wasn't great. Miami should have won the ACC, and I think that they should have been punished for it.
Yeah,
But neither here nor there. They weren't even in the championship game, and now they get this game against Texas A&M
uh,
as the only ACC representative that didn't win. That's weird to me. I don't like that.
yeah. I mean, if I'm going to be honest here, Miami and A&M, almost similarly to the group of 5 schools, I'm kind of looking forward to that second round matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a fun game. Miami has experience at quarterback and everything, but I'm just looking forward to that second round matchup.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll do it. Those are our thoughts on the bracket. Nothing too crazy. I'm sure when Gerardo comes back next week, we'll get into it a little bit more with him. But that'll do it for this week's show. Elcio, thank you so much for coming back on. I'm sure we'll get a 3-person in at some point. But thanks for filling in once again. And thank you to the viewer for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. And we'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend.